Hey there, in this video we're going to look at and learn how to solve syntax errors. Syntax errors come in three types. There's a syntax error, an indentation error, and a tab error. All three of these happen when you write something that isn't valid Python code and you send it to the Python interpreter, which cannot interpret it and then returns to you the syntax error. So nothing in your code has run at all when you see one of these syntax errors. Thing to understand about syntax errors is this little caret here always points to the thing right after the error. The error you actually have is almost always before the caret, like right before the caret, because it's trying to interpret things, it's trying to understand what you meant, and it hits this symbol, it doesn't know what to do. So let's look at the example I have typed up here. It's intentionally kind of complicated looking, because if I write examples that are too simple, it's really obvious what's wrong. There's a few things wrong with this code, but never mind what it's supposed to do, other than it's printing things. It's supposed to print things. And as it's going along, we get this syntax error right here at the line j plus equals 1. Now, as a beginner, you might think that's the issue, that there's something wrong with the j, or the j plus equals 1. And that's actually not true. This statement is perfectly fine. There's nothing at all wrong with j plus equals 1. The actual syntax error happened just before j. So let's look at what's before that. All right, we've just got some white space here. That looks fine. And then we're up here on this line. The actual syntax error happened as we transition from this line up here with the math down to the next line. So what could be wrong with this particular line that would make it invalid Python? Well, I've got val equals, okay. And again, I'm just checking, is this valid Python code? I don't care if it works or not, but is it valid Python code? So that's fine. I'm allowed to have variable equals. I've got some parentheses, variable name I, a 2. I mean, this all looks pretty good. Looking at this a bit more detail, I noticed something here. Like when I have my cursor inside these parentheses, they turn green for me. That's Jupyter helping me out. So I got a pair of parentheses here, pair of parentheses here. Oh, there's one here at the beginning. It's not turning green. That's because it's not matched up with anything. I have unbalanced parentheses here. I need another set of parentheses somewhere. So what's happening is Python sees this open parenthesis and it's never closed, and it goes on to the next line, and then it's like, well, wait, you were supposed to have closed it. This can't possibly be valid code. Specifically, it doesn't like having a J here. Like, that's pretty much to Python's basically equivalent to having a statement like that, and that's not valid code. So to fix this, we need another parenthesis. Without knowing what the intent of this line was, it's not really clear where the parenthesis should be. Should it be right here after the 2? Should it be after the j? Should it be there? Let's just go put it here. I mean, that all depend on your context. Now let's try running it. Okay, the syntax error is gone, but now the second error has shown up, an indentation error. Okay, so unindent does not match any outer indentation level. Indentation errors mean that you don't have the right amount of space before. You have to have consistent spacing. It doesn't actually have to be 4 spaces, but Python code is almost always 4 spaces. So it's 4 spaces there, 4 spaces there. You need to go in another 4, 4, 4. I mean, you can see these all line up with each other. They're fine. And then out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uh-oh. I've got 5 spaces. I'm supposed to have 4. If I get rid of that 1 space and run it, okay, then my code works. So with syntax errors, the thing to keep in mind here is the message is going to tell you where things went wrong or right after where things went wrong. Sometimes it's right before the line that actually gets printed in the syntax error.